we have a common interest in fish. And then we can share a concern that comes from fish for the health of the oceans. Because our fish ultimately come from the oceans and all that live in them. Because if we have healthy oceans, we have healthy fish, we have healthy societies, and we have healthy economies. I'm a third-generation Canadian. I happen to have genes that are 100% from Japan, 3 generations ago. But one of the cultural legacies of my ancestors has been the fact that I love fish. Now, it's more than just a hobby or a sport. I love fish because I am fish. And every one of you is fish. Because as you take the food that you're being presented here and tear that food apart in your mouth and absorb that into your body, all of the molecules that were in that fish are going to become a part of your bodies. We are fish. And what befalls fish then has huge repercussions for us. If we are fish, what happens to them is an indication of what happens to the habitat of the fish. 70% of the planet is covered by water, most of it ocean. And you know the hydrologic cycle, the first thing that we learn in grade school. Water covers the planet, evaporates, forms clouds, rains on the land, runs into rivers and lakes, evaporates. Water cartwheels around the planet in what is called the hydrologic cycle. And like trees and other plants, you and I are part of the hydrologic cycle. We have to take water into our bodies all the time, and out it comes through our skin and our eyes and our nose and our crotch, and we're losing water all the time. So we have to imbibe more water. We are a part of the hydrologic cycle. And if we find in the oceans that the fish and the seals and the whales are filled with PCBs and DDT and flame retardant, why on earth do we think we won't be affected by that as well? Because we are part of the hydrologic cycle, and that's where all this stuff is ending up, and it's going to end up in our own bodies. The oceans and the land are inseparable. In Japan, there's an organization that, I don't know the Japanese words for it, but it's essentially the oceans love the forest. They are inseparable, and this is why the Haida for years, when they got Waihanas in the southern third of the islands of Haida Gwaii, they kept urging the government, no, we don't want the park just to end at the ocean. Though you can't separate the land from the ocean. And just 2 years ago then, Jim Prentice, the Minister of the Environment, approved of extending Waihanas National Park Reserve 10 kilometers out to the ocean floor right around the park. Because there's no separation. They're all interlinked. We know that the health of our great forests, the great trees in our temperate rainforest, are flourished because of the salmon. The salmon which come in vast numbers and then are distributed in the poop and the pee of ravens and eagles and wolves and bears, distributing all of that nitrogen fertilizer throughout our great forests. The land and the oceans are inseparable and interconnected and interdependent. We are now seeing a huge impact of what humans are doing in the oceans because of what we're doing to the atmosphere. We have changed the chemistry of the atmosphere. Burning so much fossil fuels, we are adding a burden of carbon that hasn't been seen, a level that hasn't been seen for millions of years. And the result of that is the carbon in the atmosphere is dissolving at the interface with the oceans into carbonic acid, and so we are acidifying the oceans with consequences we have no idea in the long run what the effect is going to be. But it will be catastrophic. And of course we're using the oceans as a garbage dump. For years I've objected to salmon fish farms, not because I'm against salmon farming or farming fish, but because they use the oceans as a sewer. And we cannot continue to do that. If we're going to grow fish, we have to keep them separate from the ocean ecosystems. Secondarily, we shouldn't be farming carnivores, we should be farming herbivores, but I'll talk about that some other time. But it's not that we're against fish farms. It's got to be done in a way that makes ecological sense and is truly sustainable. Every bit of the energy that we have in our bodies, that we need to move and grow and reproduce, all of that energy is sunlight. Sunlight captured by plants